the video for the Headstand Harry. Some of the other videos I'm going to redo, even the original classic Dirty Harry, because I've changed some stuff on that. But just showing you a few here. This is the Dirty Gurgler. Also have done that in the electric chicken colors. Even put little eyes on this guy. I haven't really tested these top waters yet, just haven't had time. This is the Hollywood Harry, which has been killing redfish and trout this past week. Designed by Jason Dillalog. Hope I said that right, Jason. This is little bait fish pattern, Magnum Force. This is it's got a little tungsten head on it, and pretty sparse, pretty light, fun to fish in the surf. Of course, here's the classic Dirty Harry and chartreuse, and then this is the Dirty Harry XL. Very dangerous fly. In the red, black, and gold. Perfect for the stained waters down here. And then, of course, there's the Headstand Harry in the electric chicken colors, and then there it is in the Halloween black and orange colors. So I hope you enjoy the video, and more importantly, enjoy and catch fish with it, because the headstand is it's versatile. It's a lot of fun to fish. Any kind of fly line. You can work it from the bottom all the way up to the top of the water column, or you can just tease them, keeping it right above the weed line. So hope you enjoy it. Have fun. Okay, welcome. This is Harry, and I'm gonna do a video on the Headstand Harry. I know a lot of people have been waiting for this, and very excited about this fly. It actually suspends in the water, kind of stands on its head like that, and then when you strip it, it flips. You may have seen the video. Sort of does somersaults and suspends in the water, pretty much driving the fish crazy. So I do it in this colors. These are the original OBX colors down here, Dirty Harry colors as well, black and orange. And then also do it in chartreuse and pink, which is what is referred to as the electric chicken combination. Very good colors down here as well, especially in clear water. And that's the one I'm going to tie here, is the electric chicken version. Okay, here's the hook that I use for pretty much everything at this point. Is the Gamakatsu SC15 1/0. Sharp, strong, lightweight. Everything you need in a hook. All right. You want to lock your hook in real good. I'm just gonna go up about I'm gonna leave about an eyes. These are the barrel or the barbell eyes, and I usually go about the length of the eyes where I start wrapping. Go back to just beyond the bend of the hook. Come back up to that point and just form a little bump or stop for your eyes. And Trim that off. Put a little super glue on there. I'm using usually use chartreuse eyes, but I'm going to try pink. Thought that would be cool on this one. And these are the hairline double pupil lead eyes. These are small. And use small on this particular fly to get the correct balance between the foam tail, which floats, and the weight of the hook and the eyes, which obviously sink. So we're gonna put that right in front of there, do a few wraps, turn it straight. Oops. See, shit happens. There we go. I'm gonna do cross wraps now that I have it straight. Straighten it out. Put a little more super glue of your choice on there. And then do a little helicopter wrap to nice and tight to pull all the other wraps together and keep it from spinning around on you. And you can do a couple in front, and then you want to end up right behind the eyes right here. Try to turn this a little for you. Okay, so basically we're basically tying the classic Dirty Harry so far, except we're using small eyes instead of medium eyes. Now we're gonna take the tail, lay it on top of the hook shank, nice loose wrap at first. And you should always keep the length between the front of your bobbin and where you're working very short. It's just, you have a lot more control. If you get out like this and try to start doing wraps or trying to control anything, you're just gonna end up ripping your hair out. So keep this short. Once you get it on top, you can, go a little tighter. You don't have to crank this down right here because it's gonna have the estes body material on top of it. And quite frankly, you don't wanna break the thread by cranking on this too hard and have the tail come off, which I've never had a tail come off. I've had part of a tail come off with a bluefish. I had part of a tail come off after about 20 something trout, but this hairline really is good stuff. Don't substitute this with something else that's cheaper because it's not going to work out well for you. Okay, so we have the tail on there. Now this foam, I took 2 pieces. I got this foam at Walmart. I took 2 pieces, and I don't know what the thickness is. Somebody asked me what millimeters that this is, but I would guess 1 or 2. And I used spray adhesive, put 2 together, and made a sheet like this. And then I cut them into little strips like this that are maybe 1 1/4 inches, and that's going to be our tail on here. So you cut it about 1 1/4 inches long, and then I don't know if that's 3/8 of an inch wide, something like that, and fold it in half like this, nice and tight, as neatly as you can, and then get your scissors and cut up on an angle like this, and then there's your shrimp tail. And also I'm going to, on the other end, and actually I'm going to cut this just a little shorter. So it's basically the length of the hook. Now I'm going to cut these corners off just to make it a little easier to tie in. You don't have to be real crucial with that because this will be covered up. Okay, so you have it folded like this. Put it right on top of the hook and the tail, just like that. Start with a loose wrap again. And then as you realize you have it in the position you want, you can start cranking down on this foam and it ties up real nice. Just like that. Okay. And then wrap back about 1/8 of an inch here. We're gonna tie in this leggy material. It's Wapsi, W-A-P-S-I, probably not saying that right. Spanflex material. And I'll try to put a list, written list of everything I'm using. And we're gonna use chartreuse, and we're gonna use pink. Okay. Here's our pink, comes like this. Take a couple strands of that off of here. And we just trim that off of there. And here's the green. Again, that's the brand of it. This out of here. And we're gonna take 2 strands of this. Cut those off. Then we're gonna line these up. Now these 2 packs are different lengths, and it's not super critical, but I'm gonna trim it up so that the green's the same length as the pink here. You can have different lengths, yeah, you know, it's up to you. Do your own thing. Okay, we're gonna wrap. We have the thread hanging down here. We're just gonna wrap this around the back of it, okay? And get them pretty much the same length. Slide that up to the top of the hook. And again, shorten this up. Take your time with this. It can be a little tricky if you don't tie a lot. Kind of lay it on top there. Loose wrap at the beginning. And then start cranking down a little bit. Wrap all the way to the back till you hit the foam. Cover that up. There you go. Okay. Now we're going to tie in some of the Estes UV, same as on the classic Dirty Harrys. We're going to strip off the edge, the end, till you can see this thread core here. Now I'm going to lay this on the inside of the hook shank and just kind of capture it right there, right on the inside, not on top, not on bottom, but just on the inside facing you. And then just capture that. You can wrap all the way up to the front. I like to go over here and get that out of the way. Okay, now we're gonna just grab everything. The legs, the tails, bring this up underneath, and you see how that jacks everything up into the air, keeps it away from the hook, keeps it from getting tangled, and gives it a really nice motion in the water. Once you go under, come over top, and this first pull is what locks everything in right there. Hit it the way you want it, and then just start wrapping towards the front and pull back as you go. Looking good already. I mean, what fish would not inhale this? And by the way, this caught huge, beautiful trout on this fly, first time out, and since then have caught redfish on the flats with this thing. Like, it's almost automatic. Mostly I've been using the orange and black version for the redfish, but I've caught them on this color too. All right, now we go back behind the eyes, and then we capture this material 2 or 3 times. Come up in the front of the eyes again, and get this out of the way. Trim this estes as closely as you can. Just kind of push. All right. And now we're gonna make it weedless. I have this. I use this on all the Dirty Harry flies, pretty much the whole line. Mason hard mono 20 pound. Now I have these pre-cut just because I tie a lot of flies and it's just quicker this way. But you cut about 1 inch off and then put a little bend in it. Just use any kind of pliers you get, probably already have. Just put that little bend in there, and then I'll bend it a little more with my fingers just to get it pretty much on a 90-degree angle like that. Okay. We're gonna flip this over and just tie this in on the underside. So we want to keep this short. We're going to lay that there right on top of the hook shank. Real loose wrap on this, because if you don't get it right, you want to be able to slide in and out. You don't want this mono to be on the hook eye. You don't want to block that. So get it where you want it. You start tightening down. And then I like to bend it again once I get it locked in there. And then a couple wraps behind the monofilament. Kind of gets it to pop out, which keeps it a lot sturdier when you're pulling it through the weeds. You know, you don't want that thing, you don't want to have to keep correcting it all the time. All right, there we go. Okay, so now we're gonna finish it up. The whip finisher here. I usually do 2 or 3 knots here. Now this will be covered with UV resin, so it shouldn't ever come apart, but just to be safe. It's only thread. Okay, tighten that up. Come in, trim that. Now we're going to put a little bit of UV resin on here, or you can use whatever you use is fine. What's cool about the UV resin is, like right here, I can put a dab in there and then hold this weed guard out and then hit it with the light, and it's even more assurance that that weed guard will stay out where it needs to. Flip it over. You can trim all this off if you want, you know, trim it up. Make it nice and pretty. But I don't know that it makes any difference. And I'm gonna put a little bit on top, lock the whole thing together, zap it. Okay, there it is. Now I like to give them a little flat top haircut here, just like the Dirty Harry. Just to make it a little more shrimp-like. You know, with the flat back and the leggy front. And then we're gonna take this and cut this just beyond the tip there. Nice little weed guard. And there we have it. Another thing you can do, which I just started doing with this, I'll try it with the legs on it. Maybe I'll just put one just for the demonstration's sake, is you can take your pick here and a lighter, and you can heat this up. And then you can make marks across the tail like that, which is pretty cool. And it'll also start to curl up a little bit when you do it. So that's kind of a nice little shrimpy touch. Now, it's very important that when you're done, and I do this before I sell these or give them to anybody, is first you gotta make sure they sink. Now this isn't salt water. Salt water is even more buoyant. So we're gonna just drop it in this Tupperware, and it did sink. I'm not sure if you could see that, but it did sink right here. And so that's perfect. It's standing on its head just the way we want it. When you strip it through the water, it flips and really has some incredible action. Now, if you get out on the water and you throw it in and you see the fly, even if you buy one from me and you throw it out there, it's high salinity in the water and it floats. All you have to do is cut a little bit of the tail off. So all you do is fold the tail in half, get scissors or even just a knife, and just trim a little bit off and then throw it in again, and bingo. So that's the electric chicken version. I hope you guys try this yourself because it's fun to tie and really fun to fish. And here's the other version, the Halloween. So I'll include a list of all the materials so that you don't have to guess, and hope you enjoy it. Have fun.